Coming close. This is going to be magic up here on this stage, this next set. Thinking about all the years we've come here and cherished this place, this park, watched my children run around here and they were grown up and appreciate music, and it's all about magic, I think. That's one main thing that keeps coming back to me. It's in the trees, it's in the dirt that gets in your toes, and it's certainly in the water. I think we all know that. But speaking of musical magic, we all have our favorites, and here comes one of mine. This gentleman here makes some fine music from the heart, from the soul, and it goes right into yours and mine. Welcome, please, Verlon Thompson.
Now I see who the real fans are. The true fans. Oh, there comes Sally, dragging up the rear. Okay. Gotta include Sally. She's a real fan. You know, I was just telling Ed backstage there, this is my final set of the weekend, and I'm glad it's finally here, but at the same time I'm sad to see it come to an end. This is just such a, I don't know, it's a really sweet event, and I look forward to it every year, and hate to see it come to an end. Yes, I need more time. I'd sit down on the riverbank and I'd wet my fishing line and spend the whole day looking for your perfect Valentine. I'd climb that hill that's called out to me since I was a kid, and I'd live the way I said I would, but somehow never did. I need more time. Yes, I need more time. I'd take my dad's old pickup truck as far as it would go, maybe up to Calgary to see that rodeo. I'd stop in some little cafe with a waitress, bless her heart, and I'd leave $100 tip. Hey, that would be a start. But I need more time. Yes, I need more time. So if you wake and find me sitting downstairs in the dark, staring out at nothing, listening to an old dog bark, just come lay down beside me till the dawn comes breaking through. I forget about all these other dreams when it comes to holding you. 'Cause when it comes to holding you, I need more time. to me. I just need more time. I got so many places I want to go. I got so many things I want to say. So many people I want to love. And damn it, I ain't got time. I've decided to just lay back on this set and do what comes to me. I didn't plan anything out. I know there's several requests that I've had during the day today, and I kept saying, I'll do it tonight, I'll do it tonight. So anybody that I promised a song to, don't let me forget. There's one right there. I'm just gonna get that one right out of the way right now, because your request was so sweet when you came up to the backstage door, and who can resist a pretty girl that comes to the backstage door and asks you? No, she said this song, she heard me do this with Donna the Buffalo on New Year's Eve down in Tampa. And so this is the version without the buffalo behind me. And it's not my song, it's one of Guy Clark's songs, but I love it so much I feel like it's mine. I got an old blue shirt, it suits me just fine. I like the way it feels, so I wear it all the time. I got an old guitar that won't ever stay in tune, but I like the way it sounds in a dark and empty room. I got an old pair of boots and they fit just right. I can work all day and I can dance all night. I got an old used car that runs just like a top. I get the feeling it ain't ever gonna stop. Stuff that works, stuff that holds up. It's the kind of stuff you don't hang on the wall. Stuff that's real, stuff you feel. The kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. I got some pretty good friends, and they've seen me at my worst. And they can't tell if I'm a blessing or a curse. But they always show up when the chips are down. Thank the Lord. That's the kind of stuff I like to be around. Stuff that works, the stuff that holds up. The kind of stuff you don't hang on the wall. Stuff that's real, stuff you feel. The kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. I got a woman I love. She's crazy, paints like God. She's got a playground sense of justice. She don't take odds. And I got a tattoo with her name right through my soul. And I think everything she touches turns to gold. Stuff that works, stuff that holds. kind of stuff you don't just hang up on your wall. Stuff that's real, stuff you feel, y'all. The kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. Yeah, great request, wasn't it? No, I didn't get choked up. I sucked a gnat down my throat. And I wasn't crying. That wasn't a tear. Another gnat got in my eye there, and it made my eyes start watering. I love y'all too, man. You know, they were interviewing me for this some kind of promotional thing last night, and they said, what is it about this festival that you think is different than the rest? You know, why do you love this festival? I said, hell, you know, the things that I have been through personally. Here at this festival, I've showed up here with broken bones and a broken heart and broken spirit. And hell, you know, they lift me up. You know, and I've seen people get married here. I've seen, you know, and of course we've lost people, loved ones. We've lost so many folks that were so dear to us, and we just keep on coming back. I said, what's not to love? Shit. It's stuff, I should have said that, damn it. I never think of the good stuff to say until it's too damn late. God. Anyway, so thank y'all for all of that, man. Let me see. Oh, here, I got another request. I want to get this one going right now. It's another sad-ass story. Sad but true, and I almost hate to tell it, and you know, I wrote it with Guy Clark and Sam Bush. We wrote this story, but it wasn't a story we made up. It was a true story, and it was a sad story. It happened there in Nashville, right outside of Nashville. There was an old banjo picker by the name of Stringbean. Everybody loved Stringbean, and the word got out that Stringbean didn't believe in banks. He didn't deposit his money. He'd get paid for playing the Grand Ole Opry, and he'd go cash it and then stash it in his little cabin. He had a cabin about the size of this stage, maybe not even this big. And that was the rumor that String had stashed all of his money out there in his little cabin. Well, these two old boys, these two cousins, their last name was Brown, and they got wind of this rumor, and they went out there one night while Stringbean was on the Opry, and they broke into his little cabin, and they tore it apart trying to find this money that was stashed, and they couldn't find nothing, and it made them mad. So they sat down on Stringbean's own little couch, turned on the radio, and listened to him singing on the Grand Ole Opry, and they waited, because they knew when he got finished singing that his beautiful wife Estelle would drive him home from the Opry, and they'd come rolling up that little gravel driveway out there in the middle of nowhere. And they sat and they waited. Tennessee in 1973, the Brown step. And the reason for it all was in the bib of his overalls. At least that's what the Brown boys would tell. Yeah, the thieves lay in wait for hours, but things didn't go their way. It was just a simple plan to rob a banjo man, but he would not let go of his Opry pay. No. Now there must have been one hell of a struggle for the cash in his bib overalls. Now the Brown boys said, don't give us no trouble, String. They said we came for some, but now we want it all. Yeah, the thieves said stand and deliver, but old Stringbean would not tell. And later we would learn that was the point of no return. They shot him dead and then they shot his step. Just so happened that right across the road from old Stringbean, there was another banjo picker, another Opry star, an old boy they called Grandpa Jones. So these two old banjo pickers, these two old Opry stars that everybody loved, they used to get up every morning when the sun come up over the hills, and they'd meet there on that little gravel road in between their houses, and they'd walk up the road and go fishing. That's how they started off every morning together, fishing. Friends. When he didn't see no smoke from the chimney, Grandpa knew that something was not right. And now it's burned evermore in his memory, the picture of that dreadful, awful sight. And then 23 years later, they tore the old fireplace down, and there was $20,000 that the Brown boys never found. It seemed like easy money, but things didn't go their way. It was just a simple plan to rob a banjo man, but he would not let go of his Opry pay. No, he just would not let go of that Opry pay. And now I ask you, is anything sacred? I do believe now I have heard it all. I read it in this morning's paper, where they auctioned off old String's overalls. the shanty lights, you could hear his banjo ring. It would ring out for the masters listening on the hill. It would ring out for the babies all sleeping quiet and still. They'd say round and round, old Joe Clark, round and round I say, I'd follow you 1,000 miles to hear your banjo play. He said he'd even played for Lincoln once outside the courthouse square. And then he went down to New Orleans and they called him Dixieland. Yeah, but everywhere old Joe Clark went, he was nothing but a hired hand. You see, everywhere that old Joe played, he's just another hired hand. They'd say round and round, old Joe Clark played. When I say round and round, old Joe Clark, or we'll carry you away. Round and around and around, round and around and around, round and around and around, round and around and around. One, two, three, go. Made his mark back when cotton was the king, and late at night neath the shanty lights you could hear his banjo ring. Thank you, thank you. Can't stand a collar, makes it hard to swallow, but where you go I'll follow. Hey, I'm a lucky dog. I can't get used to getting all this love and petting. You're about to spoil me rotten, darling, I'm a lucky dog. I used to be a homeless hound. I was running round up and down every street in town. Oh, then I found you, baby, and the one kiss drove me crazy. There ain't no ifs or maybes, baby, I'm a lucky dog. Say, is just a simple little fun song I wrote about a dog about 25 years ago. And I didn't think much about it. But I turned it in. You see, I'm what they call a professional songwriter. I get paid to do this. So everything I write down, I have to turn it into my publisher. So even if it's a simple little song about a dog, you got to turn it into your publisher so they can tell you're doing something. So I turned my song in about my lucky dog, and a few days passed and my phone rang, and it was my publisher, and he said, "Verlon, got some good news for you." I said, "What's that?" He said, "Today, as we speak, down in Columbia recording studios there in Nashville on Music Row, Johnny Cash is recording your Lucky Dog song." That was my reaction. I jumped up and I hollered, "Are you kidding me? The Johnny Cash? The man in black?" And they said, "That's the one." I said, "Well, heck, I'm going to celebrate." Because I knew how popular Johnny Cash was. He's known all over the world, and he sells millions of records still. To this day, he does. And in my mind, all I could see was big old royalty checks rolling in. So I decided to go out and celebrate. I went out and partied, and I took a couple of credit cards with me because I didn't really have any money to speak of. But I thought, hey, it'll be all right. This is Johnny Cash. Those royalties are going to be huge. And so I went out and I partied, and then the sun came up, and I was still in a party mood, so I went shopping. And I hate to shop, really, so it was rare for me, but I was thinking again, hell, this is Johnny Cash. These checks are going to be so big, it'll take care of all of this. And I went out and bought stuff I didn't even need. I bought a red velvet jumpsuit and a riding lawnmower and all kinds of stuff, and I wasn't worried. I just was not worried about it. So I went home and I started recuperating from all my partying and shopping, and a couple of days passed, and my phone rang again, and it was my publisher again, and he said, "Hey, Verlon, I got some bad news for you." I said, "What?" He said, "Well, apparently," he said, "it looks like Mr. Cash has had a little disagreement with the folks there at Columbia Records, and he said they're going to postpone the release of your Lucky Dog song." Well, it's been postponed now for 25 years. And here's the bad part. The bad part is that I have to drive right by Columbia Studios every day. From my house there in Nashville, I drive by and I look over there, and I know that down in that basement, in that vault, on a shelf, is a tape with Johnny Cash singing my song. And I've never heard it. Now just think about that for a minute, would you? Actually, let me back up and just correct myself, because driving by there is not the worst. The worst part is that I just now got those credit cards paid down. But I have to live with this, knowing that there's a tape somewhere of Johnny Cash singing my song, and I've never heard it. And I got to tell you, it's starting to get serious. I'm not sure what to do about it, but it's keeping me awake at nights. I lay down there every night to try to go to sleep. I lay down there in my black silk pajamas, and underneath my black silk sheets, in my totally black painted wall bedroom, and I try to drift off to sleep, but it happens every night. I hear it off in the distance. I hear it sounds like it is. It's him. It's Johnny Cash, and he's singing my song. bragging, my tongue's almost dragging. I can't keep from bragging, June, I'm a lucky dog. I used to be a homeless hound. I was running around up and down every street in town. Oh, but then I found you, baby, and one kiss drove me crazy. There ain't no ifs or maybes, baby, I'm a lucky dog. There ain't one if or maybe, baby, I'm a lucky dog. Hey! Lord, Lord, the stories we tell. I can't keep from bragging, June, I'm a lucky. I always look forward to that part. You know, that was back when I was writing songs. I would go in, I actually had a little room, an office at the publishing company, and I was just like a factory worker. I would get up every morning and I would go to this office in this bare office and sit there and write songs for other people to do, for people that was on the radio at the time, you know, which was all good. I mean, it worked. People were recording my songs and I was making a living. But it occurred to me that when I went out on the road and played a show, I would do some of those songs that I had been sitting there in that room and writing, and they just didn't work. I mean, they just didn't work. They weren't connected. And so I did that for about 15 years, that going in every single day. And I had a good run at it, but one day I just made a decision not to do that anymore. I decided, you know what, I'm going to write songs that I need, songs that help me say what I need to say and what I want to say. I'm not just going to write a song just to have another song. I'm going to wait till something moves me, and then I'm going to write a song about it. And that's what I've been doing ever since, and it changed my whole life. I used to worry about when I had a show, like I'd be backstage, I'd be all nervous, like, oh God, this set list, I gotta have, oh, this one's in the key of G, then I better do this one, it's D, and then, oh, will they like, you know, and I'd be worried. Now, I don't even worry, I just come out here and have a nice conversation. And play the songs that say what I want to say. And every now and then I get some help, and I got some help on this one from my buddy Frank Serio. And I kind of wish I didn't write this with you, Frank, because we wrote it the day after lovely Sue Cunningham's, no, the day of Sue Cunningham's memorial down in Jupiter, Florida. We went to the memorial, and you know, once you leave that memorial and everybody else goes home and they go their own way, Frank, have to go back to your home that you shared with Sue Cunningham, and you got to face that empty kitchen and that empty living room and that empty bedroom. And I went with him that afternoon. We left the memorial, we went back to the house, and we sat down in Sue's kitchen. I believe it's the first time we'd ever sat in that kitchen without her there. And we didn't really know what to say much, which is rare for Frank and I. We didn't know what to say. And when we finally did speak, it was crazy that we both were thinking the same thing. We were both thinking, we should write a song. I said, is this appropriate? Should we write a song right now? I mean, and Frank said, I don't know, but I just feel this real need and this urge. And I said, well, I'm with you, buddy. I don't think anything would make me feel any better. And so, we did. We sat there, and this thing just, with the help of Sue Cunningham, because I truly believe she was there in the kitchen with us, and she guided us through this, and And I love it, especially because it's so true. You see, Frank and Sue, they used to leave little notes, and I'm going to divulge a personal thing here. I hope you'll forgive me, Frank, but they would leave little notes around the house. Frank would write, "I love you more than anything." And he would place this note somewhere, and Sue would come along and find that note, and she would flip it over and write, "I love you more than everything." And they would do that. These notes were all over the house. And Frank was telling me about that, and I said, well, there you go. Say no more. It's as carved in stone as any words could be. It is beyond just love. It is the next degree. We knew it was and would always be. I love you more than anything. I love you more than everything. I love you more than anything. I love you more than everything. Well, it's the stars that hang up in the ding-dang sky. It's the fiddle tunes and the butterflies. It's you humming Lorena's lullaby. I love you more than anything. I love you more than everything. I love you more than anything. It's as carved in stone as any words could be. It is beyond just love. It is the next degree. We knew it was and will always be. And I love you more than anything. I love you more than everything. I love you more than anything. I love you more than anything. I love you more than anything. I love you more than everything. I love you more than anything. I love you more than everything. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Sue. Oh, all right. If the creek's too high for crossing, just search for higher ground. If it's a troubled path that you've been walking, you better back up and turn around. Now life's a road we travel. It's full of twists and turns, and when it comes unraveled, it's just another lesson learned. Sometimes it's a struggle, y'all, and sometimes it's a fight, but your rewards will double if you do what's right. If the creek's too high for crossing, just search for higher ground. If it's a troubled path that you've been walking, you better back up and there complaining, saying this wall's too high to climb, while the wise man just starts moving one stone at a time. You can't look for easy answers, you will not be satisfied, but for every door that closes, you know another opens wide. If the creek's too high for crossing, just search for higher ground. If it's a troubled path that you've been walking, well, you better back up and turn around. I said if the creek's too high for crossing, just search for higher ground. If it's a troubled path that you've been walking, you better back up. I said back up, oh back up, you better back up. You better back up, oh you better back up, Lord, Lord, you better back up. Why don't you back up? You better just back up, you better back up and turn around. Well, I was talking about showing up here with broken bones. It's happened more than once. I showed up one time, I had a broken foot. It was during my midlife crisis. I decided I wanted to be a hang glider. No, not a hang glider, a parasailer. It's much safer. You only break your feet. You don't break necks and stuff. So I chose parasailing. Get down there. Sorry, I hate when this happens. So anyway, I've shown up with a broken foot. I showed up with, well, I had pretty much healed up, but I had the remnants of 2 broken wrists at one point. I still had a cast on this one, and this one was in a little soft thing, and I wasn't even going to come down that year, and Guy Clark said, "The hell you ain't?" Said, "Come on, you're going with me, even if you just stand up there and sing harmony." So I came, and then I realized I couldn't resist it, and I wound up playing some rhythm with that cast on my arm, and it worked out fine. It made me, once again, you guys healed me. I was healed. I was healed. But let me back up a little bit. So what happened is, I fell off my roof, broke both of my wrists, and they patched me up and sent me home with a bunch of high-grade pain pills, and I probably overindulged in those high-grade pain pills for a couple of weeks. And I woke up, or thought I was waking up at one point, and I really wasn't sure if I was hallucinating or if I was dreaming or what, but I looked up above me. I'm laying on the couch, and I look up, and I see a smoky haze above me. And then in the midst of that smoky haze, there appeared what looked to be like Guy Clark's silhouette, just like floating in the midst of this smoky haze. And I thought, man, I'd better just back off on those pills right now. But I kept rubbing my eyes and getting a better look and kind of clearing my head, and I finally realized that it actually was Guy Clark. he had come to visit me, and there he was. And it was a smoky haze, because as you do when you go to visit the sick and afflicted, you fire up your cigarette and you stand right over the top of them. And you blow smoke rings, and you flick your ashes in their living room floor. But you know what? I didn't even care. I didn't care one bit, because this was Guy Clark, and he had come to visit me, and I was moved. I was touched, and the only thing is, I wanted to hear what he might have to say, because Guy always had a way of speaking in those, short, wise, sort of like sound bites, they call them, and little bits of wisdom. And I was just laying there in this crazy state, waiting for Guy to speak, and I wanted to hear what he had to say, and I kept waiting and waiting, and see, it took forever. And finally he spoke, and he said, "You didn't trust your cape, did you?" Flour sack cape tied all around his neck, climbing up on the garage, he's figuring what the heck. He screws his courage up so tight that the whole thing come unwound. He got a running start, and bless his heart, he headed for the ground. But he's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your arms and hold your breath, and always trust your cape. All grown up with a flour sack cape tied all around his dreams, full of piss and vinegar, and he's busting at the seams. So he licks his finger and he checks the wind. He says it's gonna be do or die. He wasn't scared of nothing, y'all. He's pretty sure he could fly. 'Cause he's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your arms and hold your breath, and always trust your cape. Flour sack cape tied all around his head, and he's still jumping off the garage, and will be till he's dead. All these years the people said he's acting like a kid. Well, he did not know that he could not fly, so he did. 'Cause you see, he's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. You gotta spread your arms and hold your breath, and always trust your cape. Spread your arms and hold your breath, y'all, and always trust that cape. up with myself on the highway at night. I was driving like a bat out of hell when I beheld an amazing sight. It was a lonely apparition by the roadside, standing there with his thumb out in the wilderness and a halo in his hair. He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, boy, and I'll show you paradise." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son, my name is Jesus Christ." Well, I didn't quite know what to do, so I said, "Hey, hop on in." He said, "Thanks a lot, son, for the lift. I'll forgive you of your sins." He said, "I just come from Jerusalem where things are going bad." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son. I need to talk to my dad." Yes, he said, "Give me a ride to heaven, boy, and I will show you paradise." Give me a ride to heaven, son. My name is Jesus Christ. Well, I still didn't know quite what to do, so I jammed her down in gear. I kind of kicked my feet beneath the seat. I was trying to hide the beer. He just grinned and said, "My friend, I know you might think it's odd, but you ain't got nothing to fear about drinking a beer if you share it with the Son of God." Yeah, so he said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son, and I will show you paradise." Give me a ride to heaven, man, my name is Jesus Christ. Hey! Well, right in the middle of that perfect smile from his robes, he pulled a gun. And he stuck it up beside my head and said, "How's this for kingdom come?" Well, I drove all scared, and I heard him say, as he left me there beneath the stars, he said, "The Lord moves in mysterious ways, my son, and tonight he's gonna use your car." Yeah, he said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son, and I will show you paradise." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, boy, my name is Jesus Christ." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son, and I will show you paradise." Give me a ride to heaven, man, my name is Jesus Christ. You know what? I thought of one more request. I got to do this request. There's a tomcat in the alley scaring up a fight. And there's a mother softly kissing her little ones good night. There's peace and then there's chaos, reality and dreams. We're all trying to strike that balance between a whisper and a scream. Now sometimes I need attention when you need left alone. Sometimes you feel like clinging when I feel like being gone. We might make love soft and tender, or make the rafters ring, just as long as we meet somewhere between a whisper and a scream. Oh, I know you'll be listening, and you know I'll be there. Between a whisper and a scream, we'll find a prayer. I used to blow up